Igbo nation held captive as long as Nnamdi Kanu lingers in detention. US-based Group 1s. Welcome back to Biafra News. Support Biafra, people of goodwill. Ada Biafra here. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you. Depending on where you're watching me from, Biafrans, I'll bring you another update. This very update is coming from Star Reporters, and the news headline says entire Igbo nation held captive as long as Nnamdi Kanu lingers in detention. US-based Group 1s. Dear friends, before I continue with this very update, I would like to welcome all the new and old subscribers. If you're coming across my channel for the first time, please kindly click the red subscribe button, turn on the notification bell right beside it to enable you get notification once I upload a new video. Don't forget to share to anyone to get notification. So, here is the news in full detail. It says our reporters report that Nnamdi Kanu was taken in Kenya and returned to Nigeria in June 2021 under the administration of former President Muhammad Buhari. Yes, DSS and Zoo terrorist state kidnapped Nnamdi Kanu in Kenya, a British citizen traveling with a British passport. Nnamdi Kanu's only crime is asking for his people's freedom or requesting for a referendum from Biafrans to exit that zoo called Nigeria. Nnamdi Kanu asked the Zoo terrorist state to conduct a peaceful referendum for Biafrans to choose if they want to remain in Nigeria or go with the Biafra. They turned a call for freedom or referendum into war. In their desperation to stop Biafra, they went to Kenya and kidnapped Nnamdi Kanu, tortured him for 8 days before he was illegally renditioned back to Nigeria. And those working with Nnamdi Kanu never raised alarm. They never raised alarm or alert Biafrans that Hamadike is nowhere to be found for 8 days. They kept quiet until Hamadike was illegally renditioned back to Nigeria, and they started lamenting and lying through their teeth, and still lying up to date. So Biafrans we must continue. A group of Igbo people living in the United States under the Rising Sun Foundation, USA, has called on Nigerian authorities to release the 10th leader of indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu, who has been in detention for 4 years. So our reporters report that Nnamdi Kanu was taken in Kenya and renditioned to Nigeria in June 2021 under the administration of former President Muhammad Buhari regime. Since then, the IPOB leader has remained in detention at the Department of State Service, DSS, Abuja, sparking widespread concern, with many viewing him as a symbol of resistance against marginalization and the oppression. The Igbo group, however, in a statement made available to Sahara reporters, condemned the Nigerian government's selective application of justice, particularly against Igbo people. They also criticized the political leaders in the southeast for prioritizing personal interest over the collective welfare of the Igbo people. Those Eflefus do not care about their people. Southeast governors are the stooges the Fulanis are using against Biafrans. They allow themselves to make a willing tool for the Fulanis, and they do not care if their people are being killed, if their people are being terrorized, if their people are being marginalized. All they care about is to place the Fulanis, how to bring the Fulanis into Biafra land to take over Biafra land. You see governors like Pitamba, that Eflefu, promising Fulanis thousands of hectares of land in Biafra land. How many land have they given Biafrans in the north? All those Eflefus care is how to please the Fulanis. They don't care about their people. The reason we gave them vote of no confidence, they don't represent us. They are just there to do the bidding of the Fulanis and to remain there. Well, Biafrans, we must continue. The group urged that Kanu's release is not a matter of personal freedom, but a lying cry for the liberation of the Igbo people from systematic oppression and neglect. Despite court orders demanding his unconditional release, Kanu remains in detention. The group urged the Nigerian authorities to adhere to the directives of the United Nations Human Rights Council and respect court rulings. They also called on Igbo people to unite and confront challenges with solidarity and resilience. It is imperative that we amplify our voices against this blatant violation of his rights, especially in light of several court orders demanding his unconditional release. The group, in the statement jointly signed by Chief Maxwell Mole, Dr. Remy Okeye Evans, Wankwo, and Benjamin Wankwo, said, It noted the Nigerian government under President Ahmed Bola Tinubu has recently shown signs of a potential shift towards dialogue regarding Kanu's release. The reluctance of our own political leaders, particularly the governors and those aligned with Ohanaeze Ndigbo, to advocate for Kanu's freedom is deeply troubling. Their actions reflect a disheartening trend of prioritizing personal political ambition over the collective welfare of the Igbo people. The Igbo people are inherently peaceful and progressive, yet the hostile environment created by the Nigeria state has compelled us into a struggle for survival. It is a time that demands unity, the setting aside of selfish interest for the greater good of our community. This is not merely a matter of belief. It is an urgent reality that calls for collective action and sacrifice. Our request for freedom resonate with the historical struggle faced by other oppressed groups around the world. Just as it took immense sacrifice for African Americans to secure their civil rights and for South Africans to dismantle the apartheid regime, we too must be prepared to fight for our liberation, whether within the Nigeria state or as a self-determined entity. They further urge Igbo as a people to unite and confront the challenges we face with solidarity and resilience, insisting that together we can overcome any adversary and achieve the heights of recognition and autonomy that we rightfully deserve. We must insist that the Nigerian authorities adhere to the directives of the United Nations Human Rights Council, respect the ruling of our court, and respond to the moral imperative of justice by releasing Mazen Nnamdi Kanu without a delay. The time is ticking, and we are sitting on a powder keg, of a potential unrest. The urgency of our situation calls for immediate action, as the fuse is growing shorter by the day. That if we can close ranks and present a united front, we will see Mazen Nnamdi Kanu back among us, laying a new era for the Igbo people, a time marked by freedom, dignity, and progress. Okay, so that is it, dear friends. That is it, coming from SAR reporters from a United States-based group once. Zutari state to release Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. We all know that Nigeria is a corrupt country that do not obey court orders. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu have been discharged and acquitted, and he has no case to answer. But Zutari state, in their quest and the desperation to stop Biafra, refused to release Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. Now, the worst part of it is that some of the people that claim to be fighting for our freedom no longer talk about Mazen Nnamdi Kanu's release or Mazen Nnamdi Kanu's court. All they talk about now is Simon Ekpa. All they have been talking about is Simon Ekpa up and down. Finland this, Finland that. These fools were claimed to be working with Nnamdi Kanu, and he was nowhere to be found for 24 hours, for 48 hours, and those criminals did not raise alarm. So the Southeast governors were jubilating. Oh, insecurity will stop. Oh, this will stop. And up to date, our people are still being terrorized. Our people are still being kidnapped. Our people are still being killed. Our land is still being... No, houses, buildings are still being set ablaze. If not for gallant men resisting Zulu terrorists, I don't know what would have happened. I don't know what those flavors would have helped the Zulu terrorist Fulani Caliphate turn Biafra land into. Biafra land was being bombarded. All they were doing is posting and ranting on social media without any action. And they will come out and tell you, oh, they are peaceful freedom fighters. You're peaceful with your oppressors. All right. So, Biafrans, that is the news. Many people have called for Nnamdi Kanu's release. Even United States Human Rights Organization called for his release. Nesty called for his release. Some Southeast fools tended to call for his release. But Zutari state refused to release him. Well, at the end, victory remains ours. There is no way they can stop Biafra, no matter how hard they try. Let them keep trying. And the time comes, Shukwu Okike Abiama teach them a lesson. Zutari state is paying the biggest price for kidnapping him and keeping him And they will not stop paying until they are really dealt with. So tell Igbo governors and the politicians they know what they are doing, endangering the lives of Igbos and their people. They do not care. They will send their own children abroad to go and study in one of the best universities around the world. And they will be using some fools that have allowed themselves to be used to terrorize Biafra land, to help zoo terrorists, killers in army uniform to terrorize Biafra land. They don't care about their people. Nnamdi Kanu has been discharged and acquitted. Instead of these fools to unite and talk about and challenge Nigeria terrorist state to release him. So that is it, dear friends. I'll stop here. Don't forget to share. Tell me once you get notification. Thank you.